Hey guys, welcome to this video. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't seen these videos, welcome back. If you have, my intention is unity and oneness in the highest levels of love light. I only have about 15 minutes here, approximately 20. So I'm going to just go do as much as I can in as short amount of a time as I have. I want to say thank you, first of all, to everybody that tuned into my live that I didn't know I was doing live. I didn't realize that that's what that was. I just thought if you hit premiere, it meant that that was the next video that you were going to be doing or that it would be posted at that time. I didn't realize that it was an actual live chat also. And unfortunately, I think the comments don't show up. So I don't know if that's something I need to fix in my settings, which I haven't done anything with in a while. So thank you for everybody. I'm sorry I did not get to see your comments. The funny thing is, ironically, that video that the one video that I've done that on, did I say that right? Was it's labeled quantum messages. So when we tune into something live, it is quantum. And when we set that intention to connect with that person's field in that space, we feel it in a different way. We have access to different layers that when we don't feel into it as a now moment, we don't necessarily recognize. So I really thought that was important to share that with you guys because being in a live does feel different than just listening to a recording. But technically a recording is live because everything is now. The difference is when we're doing it with intention, it creates a different pattern and a different geometric configuration in alignment with whoever it is that we're listening to or feeling into their field. The field that I'm providing when I share this information from my perspective is multidimensional. So I might be sharing a message that seems very linear, but for those with ears to hear and eyes to see, or more or less, let's put it this way, those that are open will get something different from it every single time. It depends on our perspective, what we're going through, what we've learned, and the vibration that we're holding of how much or how little we get out of, we receive, we tune into another person's presentation of their own multidimensional expression, if that makes sense. So for example, sometimes I can listen to someone like Andrew Bartzis. I use him as an example a lot. I haven't listened to him a lot lately, but I listened to, he does one called The Fly Teaching. It's so multidimensional because when he speaks, I am hearing with a deeper connection all that he is, maybe not all, but a lot of the layers that he is speaking through, from, as, with, etc. And that's something that I think is really important to share because, so again, I will do a live and I'll do another, but thank you guys for tuning into that. I could not read the comments because they disappeared. But having said that, these energies that are happening are giving us the opportunity to really tune into that a little bit faster. And it's subtle sometimes. We don't even realize what's going on, but we might be listening to someone and be having all these downloads coming in that we unpack later. We may not even recognize that those downloads are because of opening to whatever field it is that we're tuning into when we read or listen to a particular presenter. All right, so the shifts. The sun has been off the charts. I mean, there's charts that show that it's been on, but you know what I mean. Whew, I have been under the weather the last 24 hours, literally under the sun, under the weather, everything under the sun. Everything's coming up to massively purge. We get the tickles, the itches, the itchy skin, the restless legs, electricity. It's always fun when we have responsibilities, but during the day we're wiped out and at night we can't sleep. Isn't that a good time? I've been experiencing that. And so then finally the day arrives, like today, and I'm just like, I just want to sleep all day and stay up at night, but this isn't always the same for me. it flip-flops. It changes based on how I feel, what I've been doing, and essentially what's going on planetarily. I'm going to pause for just a moment. If for me, so it's really taking a lot of us having integrity with ourselves right now. We're really being invited to focus on our body. A lot of purging is happening, vertigo, upset stomach. I've been experiencing nausea. It feels like we're being compressed. I felt like I was on a boat yesterday, which can be vertigo, but sometimes what we're doing is our bodies are acclimating. And I always use the example of a scuba diver. When you've ever gone under the ocean and you have a scuba gear on, you have to equalize. And sometimes we get stuck and we have to go back up in order to go back down. Sometimes we go down first and then come back up. So it is this getting our equilibrium, and it's difficult to function sometimes in a normal reality of the old be to work at this time, have to get the kids to school, need to drive the vehicle at this time. It's a lot. So we're really being invited to do as much as we can to stabilize our frequencies. It may require us to take a day off from time to time and sleep. It may require us, for me, I know now I have to change my diet again because everything I've been eating lately has not been agreeing with me, which means my body is like, okay, we need different things right now. I've been craving a lot of weird foods because we're shifting, we're changing. So what I'm hearing is it's a good idea to run our diagnostics from time to time and just check in. And this time to time means all day long. We can't go through like we have been ignoring our body for weeks at a time and then not, it's like almost like for me it's daily. Like if I do something like eating Halloween candy when I knew I shouldn't, I just, you feel almost immediately your body responds like, okay, you asked for it. So it's important to kind of find that as much as possible, and I'm still finding that every day. I'm going to go into some light language, and I'm going to go into a little flow. So that was the energy update. There's more. Okay, lots of information coming in. We are in this ginormous washing bin right now, and everything is here. Everything is coming up. I did a video called Everything is Coming Up. It's still relevant. So recognizing that and being patient with ourselves and our fellow brothers and sisters who are not necessarily aware, they know not why they do the things they do, right? And so some people are still on autopilot, and there are those of us who are have gone rogue, and we are really holding a higher sense of responsibility for ourselves and how we interact with each other. And it's interesting playing in that field, especially if we're just now getting used to that. Anyways, so that's a whole other, I went off on that tangent. Ne wa o ohen ishtek inik wa ne ti inik wahana. As we collapse certain perspectives, as we collapse certain timelines, as we converge, as we merge, this is a continued process. This is a birthing cycle. It does not just happen in one day. It does not just happen the way that we think it should play out. For we are all comparatively working, if you will. So I'm hearing don't compare ourselves to others, and that's a play on words. So essentially, we're all doing this together, and that means we're all, I know we've heard we're all in this together, but it's like literally it's this massive bandwidth that essentially we're tuning into and learning how to play with it in our own way, but it's all here now. And a lot of us are not sure how that's going to look. So I'm being guided to talk about that a little bit too, but maybe in a different video. For some of us are upset, if you will, at the upset. For some of this creates boundary issues. For some of this creates instability in our physicality, and it rocks our world from one perspective. For this is rocking our world. I'm seeing Rockabye Baby and the bow breaks. So it's like, boom, here we are. Much of what we speak about can be interpreted as future tense, yet at the same time, we invite you to feel into the tension on the lines. We invite you to feel into the tension in your body and realize where it is that we are drawing the line. We are being invited to have boundaries, yet to allow ourselves to open at the same time. We are being invited to see time as another tool to utilize. For in the disarray that is being applied temporarily, we are recognizing that it is important to be brave. Okay, this is a play on words, and I can't remember. I know Jason Estes mentioned this, but there's more to that. Brave heart. No. Yeah, heart. Well, of course. But there's more. I wrote it down, and I just have to go back and find it. It feels wishy-washy at times because while we play in this huge columbine, if you will, this huge colander, this huge sifting out, we are subject to our own self-doubt. We are subject to others' self-doubts, and we are subject to the immense pressure that is building on the collapse of this reality. So that's a play on words. So as I say this building, so I'm seeing buildings that were built on a collapsed reality. And now it's like really collapsing. I'm seeing that we're building on a collapsed reality. So we're building at the same time that this reality is collapsing. So it's like everything is built on sand at this point because time is changing. There's some that are still trying to keep it going in a directional force that speeds up the velocity of this. What is that song? It's Rage Against the Machine. Anyways, I'm just seeing that's what's trying to happen. And at the same time, there's a group of us that are like, no, we need to slow it down. And then there's a group of us, and I say us as humans. Then there's a group that are actually going in between the sand. I'm getting goosebumps. So I've been shown that essentially as light workers that are aware, I don't like to use the word awake as often because that word's been infiltrated a bit and usurped from one perspective because it's taking on a whole new vibrational meaning than it did. But we're going to say aware. There's a deeper awareness and a knowing. And essentially what we're doing is we are able to work with the collapse. We're able to slip through the knots, slip through the cracks. And then what we do is we create in between the bandwidths. As we create in between the bandwidths with each other, but singularly. So it's very important for us to just focus on us right now as well. It does have a ripple effect and we connect with each other and it creates, I'm seeing a net, but it's like a lace, a doily, a lace work, an inner lattice work of light workers that are essentially keeping some things from coming down and assisting others to come down. And essentially what we're doing is we're filling in these time bands, but it's not just about time, it's vibration, it's frequency, it's matching this, and we're doing a lot, you guys. We're really working in between the layers on the seen and the unseen. Obviously, dream time's been really active lately for a lot of us. And so when we work on these unseen layers, what I've been shown is we're ripping RIP, putting to rest certain pieces. And we are essentially, I was so funny. I was talking about plasma projections and ghosts the other day, and I forgot it was Halloween. I'm like, why am I getting all this information about plasma projections and ghosts? I'll talk about that in a different video, what I was shown. I talked about it, I think, in the quantum information coming through a little bit. But anyways, so there's a lot of stuff we're scattered right now. And what I was shown is that there's a lot, everything's working for us and everything's working against us and everything's from perspective. So we could say that this side is working. It doesn't matter. All of this scattered energy, what's happening is we're going in and picking up the pieces. We're picking out and we're ripping that information out of what's being revealed, etc. And we're putting it where it needs to be. We're putting it, I'm hearing we're making it right. And I keep getting all these references to right angles and isosceles triangles, and we're triangulating. And this is being done on a very, it's inner to outer. So this is also happening in our bodies. So all this stuff that's coming up physically, we're then taking what needs to be changed, morphed, molded, and we're putting it where it needs to go. And what I keep hearing is it's setting the time right. So we're reconnecting to the right clock. We're clocking into no time. There's so many different things that is going on right now. And so guys, I'm going to end on that note and just say, what we're experiencing is like no other time that we've ever experienced in this way. And it's very, very challenging right now. So be gentle on yourself, be gentle on your kids and your parents and your spouses. It's not always easy, but we are light warriors. We are light. We are also shadow workers and shadow eaters. And we are, I'm just getting goosebumps. We're here doing that. And it's intense for a lot of us. I'm getting emotional. It's emotional. It's purging. It's birthing. It's feeling. It's remembering, right? It's acknowledging deeper aspects of us that maybe we've never acknowledged, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. It's helping things that have been stuck, including plasma projections, ghosts, get released. We're helping things to move out and move on, but it literally is like a porta potty right now. I keep getting shown that over and over again, and it can be very toxic at times, but we've got this, even though sometimes it feels like we don't. But that's where we are infiltrating these bandwidths and helping each other on many different dimensional layers. So I'm going to end on that note. Again, in love and light, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll go a little deeper into this in my next videos when I have time. Namaste. When I have time.